The installation screen has cooler animation than the actual game.
Mattie is renting Aunt Eloise's apartment in New York.
Why does Aunt Eloise have an apartment in New York? She's a public school librarian who lives in Florida. School librarian is rich enough to own an apartment 3 blocks away from Central Park. Mattie is a rich and famous actress, but she still lives in a rented apartment. Mattie has gone so far overboard with plastic surgery that her entire body looks like it's made of plastic. Mattie is so vain, she populates her house with magazines about herself. These pictures are so fake-looking, it's hilarious. This magazine spread of Rick's face is terrifying. The game designers forgot to include the key that opens this locked drawer. In real life, daily soap operas don't make titles for individual episodes. It's November, and the daily TV show is only on episode 139. Either they started filming in May, or they've had a lot of time off this year. Ned, Bess, and George all got new voice actors after one game. Pointless compass in the lower left is replaced with an equally pointless clock. Take and fate do not rhyme. Nancy never encounters any traffic while in New York. Directory gives a room number for the props department, but the prop room itself is unnumbered. The president and founder of a TV network is forced to work out of the prop room. Rick's phone number's in the game, but you can't call it. All soap operas have evil twins cliche. All soap operas have terrible actors cliche. All soap operas have amnesia stories cliche. Was this game made for soap opera fans? Because I get the feeling that the author hates soap operas.
I don't want to see you, Serena.
I am acting now, Serena.
No, Rory, don't go. I love you.
Can you believe Mattie won 3 Emmys for this role? Yeah, I can't either.
I don't want to see you, Serena. I don't want to see you, Serena.
Reuse dialogue. Rick's head changes positions from this shot to this shot. This scene doesn't match up with the blocking plan. Rick openly flirts with a girl half his age, and nobody finds this to be inappropriate.
I'll be more than happy to show you the door.
Lillian is a jerk.
Get my agent on the phone, now!
What kind of studio are you running here? My client could have been killed.
Rick promises to get his agent involved, but the only agent who shows up is Mattie's. The first 4 conversations with Mattie all end the same way. She cuts the conversation short and runs away. WWB has Magnum PI on their staff, but Nancy Drew is their go-to detective.
You're Rick Arlen's agent?
Yes, I was. But I must confess that the man has no talent.
Says the man who hired him for his acting talents. Dwayne hates Rick and no longer works as his agent, yet he still keeps Rick's promotional items in his office.
Worldwide uses me almost exclusively for hiring their talent.
They've hired 3 people from you, Dwayne. Don't exaggerate.
Mattie spoke highly of your abilities.
What abilities? Nancy's hired as an actress, yet she does no acting whatsoever. Millie gives Nancy 3 brain teasers, then she completely disappears from the game. What a pointless character. 90% of the prop room is looking at random things that you can't interact with. I get the feeling the only reason they included this in the game was so they could brag that their game has over 100 close-up graphics. Typewriter is easily identified because it drops a letter cliche. There aren't any clues to help you solve this puzzle, you're just supposed to guess that 11 o'clock is the solution. Alpha-numeric code is repeated from the previous game. Also like the previous game, we have a psychic person who leaves messages telling how to beat the endgame challenge. The game's progress comes to a screeching halt unless you notice this tiny package, which is half off screen and can only be seen from specific angles. The interview with Rick contributes absolutely nothing to the plot. In the book, Nancy walks in on Rick making out with Bess. The game replaces Bess with a bomb. Way to get my hopes up for romance in the soap opera game, you guys. Bomb explodes even if you don't trigger it by starting the tape. Game gets away with curse words by using calculator spelling. Long conversation with William Pappas tricks the player into thinking he's an important character. Computer interface reused from previous game. Advanced security measures involve 3D glasses. Over 100 tapes are here, but Nancy guesses the correct tape on her first try. Culprit who is trying to avoid suspicion walks in the most suspicious way possible. Culprit disguises himself with a beard and glasses, but doesn't bother to change his clothes.
It's about time you showed up. I've been waiting 45 minutes for that pizza.
This loud buzzer killed my speakers.
45 minutes for that pizza.
During peak hours, the average pizza delivery time is 50 to 60 minutes. Unless he lives next door to Domino's, this pizza isn't late. This puzzle forces Nancy to buzz every single person in the apartment complex. Nancy is a huge jerk. Obvious anagram is obvious. The year this game was released, the average plane ticket cost $324. How did Dwayne get an international flight for only $35? Letting Nancy accuse the suspect is a neat idea, which never gets used again. If Nancy accuses the wrong person, Dwayne interrupts her and reveals himself, instead of keeping quiet and letting someone else take the fall for his crimes. I think I can confidently say we have another culprit who foils their own plot. To save on animation, the culprit confrontation starts with 15 seconds of black screen. To save on animation, the culprit confrontation is done completely in shadow. One of the conversation options here is about the love triangle between Dwayne, Mattie, and Rick. Too bad the love triangle doesn't come up at any other point in the game, because that would have been a great excuse to include a makeout scene. This puzzle. Good luck trying to concentrate on this puzzle with that annoying alarm sounding the entire time. Ralph does not enter through the doors that Nancy unlocked. Ralph is able to handcuff Dwayne, even though he clearly isn't holding handcuffs in this scene. Picture of Lillian is plagiarized from the movie Titanic. Rick is a full head taller than Mattie here, but they were roughly the same height earlier on in the game.
I don't want to see you, Serena.
No,